So the double degree program is something together with, it's a creation together with UCSC, and it consists of a 2-year program, but you will get 2 separate degrees. So I'm going to enter full screen here. Maybe this is better. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so before I start off by explaining what the double degree program is, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the city of Southampton and the environment in which this degree will take place. So we are located roughly 1 hour southwest of London on the coast. You can see here in the map. So you can take, there are direct trains from London, from Heathrow, it takes about an hour to get here. And there is actually even an airport in Southampton serving many European destinations. Southampton is a city of around 250, 300,000 people and has many small communities around Southampton in a very idyllic surrounding, if you want. It's a very walkable city, and it's considered one of the best places to live and work in the UK. To tell you a little bit about it, it has many, of course, places like shopping facilities and so on. It has Queen Mary's Stadium, where many Premier League teams come to play. Nearby, we have historic villages such as Winchester, which is the ancient capital of England, which is a village which is 1,300 years old, I think. And there's a marina and a port, which is extremely important to the UK. It has many, many commercial and activities in this port. So more widely around Southampton, there's a south coast, which has many beaches. It's a beautiful, very green area. In particular, we have just next to the university, the New Forest, which is a very large ancient forest, also more than 1,000 years old, where you have wild ponies and deer and other animals. And nearby, we have also Stonehenge, which I'm sure you've heard about. So all of these are within a day's trip. You can easily go to each of these. Now, the university itself is one of the top universities in the UK. It is a founding member of the Russell Group universities, which is the elite group of universities in the UK. It's over 160 years old. It is one of the top 100 universities in the world, as ranked by the QS World University Rankings of this year. And it is extremely international. It has over 10,000 international students from 135 countries. And it is a research university. So the vast majority of our research is considered world-leading or internationally excellent by the latest research excellence framework. So here we can study, of course, many different areas. There are 5 faculties, 350 course, 65 subject areas. But of course, we will be talking about actuarial science in this presentation. We have 7 campuses, but you will be located in the main campus, which is the Highfield campus. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the MSc Actuarial Science. So as I said, I will explain to you how this program works. How it would work for you is the following. You would enroll in this 2-year pathway, where in the first year, you come to Southampton and you do our MSc Actuarial Science. And in the second year, you return to Italy and you will do the second year of the Laurea Magistrale in Actuarial Science in UCSC, which gives you in 2 years 2 degrees. So this is the advantage of this program. Normally in Italy, masters would take you 2 years, and you would get 1 degree. In this pathway, you will get the UK degree, the Southampton one, and also the Italian degree, all in the same time frame of 2 years. So let me explain to you a little bit about our MSc Actuarial Science. What is the content? It's a mix of statistics, stochastics, actuarial science, economics, finance, and accounting. Our environment, the values that we have, of course, are academic rigor. We are very focused on vocational education, so very practical, focused on what you need to do to learn to be able to work in different areas. We give you professional exemptions, which I'll explain later. We are very flexible in the way we teach. We have extremely good support in terms of tutors. You have one-to-one support with members of staff. You will have one member of staff assigned to you, and you can talk to this person with any issue or difficulty that you may have. In addition, we have a very active student society, SUAS, which is an actuarial sciences society, which they organize fairs, career workshops, and so on. So a bit more about the MSc in actuarial science. It's a mix of statistics, as I told you, stochastics, demography, finance, and accounting. And it gives you exemptions from professional examinations of the Institute of Actuaries. So what does this mean? In the UK, to become an actuary, you have to take certain professional examinations. So these have names such as CS1, CS2, CM1, and so on and so forth. However, if you do the MSc in Actuarial Science and you pass the modules of this MSc, you automatically get, if the mark is sufficiently high, an exemption from this exam, from these exams here, these 6 exams which are listed over here. So that if you want to become a professional actuary with a UK license, you do not need to do these exams separately. The MSc will automatically give you these exams, or will give you as if you had passed these exams already. So this is what an exemption means. It will help you become an actuary in the UK if you want to practice in the UK. In addition, you will have a quantitative role within financial services, life, general health insurance, I'll talk about this in a second, pensions, actuarial consulting, investment, banking, and so on. So what are the modules that you have to take while you are in the UK? So you will arrive in September, October, and in the first semester, you will take economics, probability and mathematical statistics, financial mathematics, survival models, and actuarial mathematics 1. In semester 2, you'll take accounting and finance for actuarial science, statistical methods and insurance, mathematical finance, stochastic processes, and actuarial mathematics 2. Then, from mid-June to mid-September, so the semester ends in June, and then over the summer, you'll have 2 case studies. So remember that I told you that our program tries to give you as much real-world practical training as possible. And these case studies are, you are given a case of a particular company, for example, and you're asked to analyze it financially. You're given some initial guidance in terms of some taught classes for 1 or 2 weeks. And then after that, you meet weekly with a member of staff in groups in order to be able to solve the problems of that case study. And there are 2 of these. By the end of the 6 weeks of the first one, you prepare a certain report with your solutions, and the same thing for case study 2. Now, and this is the total of the MSc. After this, you would return to Italy to complete the second year of this 1+1 pathway. So this is a list of the professional exams. I can talk to you a bit more about them if you want later. Now, what can you do with a career in actuarial science? Well, there are many different options because it is a mix of mathematics, statistics, and demography, and so on and so forth. So, of course, you can become a mathematician. We have mathematicians in this department who study actuarial science. Statistician, a consultant. You can become an actuary. Can become a quantitative or financial analyst, for example, in the City of London, working in a big bank. You can become a risk manager or a demographer. And the areas that you would be working with are insurance areas. So insurance companies work with actuaries. That's the basis of the insurance business. So they understand how the life demography works, and they are able to calculate the prices of insurance products, and so on. You'll also be able to understand pensions, consulting. You'll be able to work in investment banking if you're interested in that, management, government, finance, and so on. Now, what are the entry requirements for this year? In the 1+1 pathway, you will have in the first year, as I said, the MSc in Actuarial Science at Southampton. You have to apply to the University of Southampton's one-year MSc Actuarial Science. You'll get a 10% discount on the program's tuition fees. If you go through UCSC, you'll earn your degree after successfully completing the program. Then you return in year 2 to Italy to do the Laurea Magistrale in Statistical and Actuarial Sciences. Now, the entry requirements, you can find them on our website. You basically need a bachelor's degree in a relevant quantitative subject. That means things like mathematics, statistics, economics, and so on, from UCSC, with at least a 76% GPA. Now, you also need to have an English language proficiency test, such as the IELTS exam. And in the IELTS exam, you have to have a 6.5 overall score, which is 6.0 reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And we accept other English language tests. One thing I would like to point out to you, 1 second, I need to adjust my slide here. Sorry. Oh, I'll tell it to you in the next slide. Here we go. So you have you need a completed US Southampton application form, a copy of your academic transcript, IELTS test, or you can also successfully pass the pre-sessional English course at Southampton. What does this mean? Suppose that you do not have the IELTS test, then, or you don't feel that your English is particularly, it's good enough to pass the IELTS, then what you can do is you can come to Southampton a few weeks earlier before the beginning of classes, and we have pre-sessional English courses which you can take. These are a few weeks long, and they will teach you enough English to be able to meet the standards to be accepted at the MSc. So if you pass these pre-sessional English courses, then you can be accepted to the MSc. And of course, then you'll need a recommendation letter from UCSC. Now, let me tell you a bit more about the pre-sessional English courses. They are a very effective way to get international students to prepare for study at Southampton. They increase your confidence and effectiveness in using English because you're learning English in England. You're meeting language requirements. You're studying with other international students, so you'll make a lot of friends from many different countries who are also learning to speak English. And there's nothing like learning a language in the environment itself of that language. Then a little bit more about the language requirements for the pre-sessional course. You can take courses online or in person at our campus in Southampton. If you want to study in person, you will need the appropriate visa. To enroll in the 16-week course, you must have an IELTS score of a minimum of 5.0 in all components. Also no more than 1.5 bands below the IELTS score required for a degree course. Then you have an 11-week course, which has a minimum of 5.0 and no more than 1 band below the IELTS score. Or you can do a 6-week course. You must have an IELTS score, which is a minimum of 5.5 overall, also no more than 0.5 below the IELTS score. In other words, you have 3 different types of courses that you can come to learn English. a 16-week, 11-week, and a 6-week, and with different degrees of requirements in English proficiency to be able to be accepted in it. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about student services. We have halls of residence, which are guaranteed for all international students. They're very safe, they're comfortable, very close to the campus. They have all-inclusive rents with free Wi-Fi, and they have contracts available in 36, 38, 40, and 51 weeks. And they are single occupancy, but we do have some for couples. So we have additional options for those who prefer alcohol-free or those who prefer quiet lifestyle, LGBTQ, single gender, special adaptations, and so on. And then we also have, to explain to you a little bit more about our campus, it's a very large operation. So we have campus security 24/7. We have buses. We have safety buses operating every day. We have 350 clubs and societies, which you can be part of, from all kinds of activities that you can think about. We have a free dedicated meet and greet service to bring students from Heathrow Airport and Southampton Airport to the university. Let me tell you about the careers and employability. So once you have this degree, what can you get? So Southampton is one of the top 150 in the world's best institutions for employability. It is a very good entry point for a career. It's top 10 in the UK's best institutions for employability, top 10 in UK universities targeted by the largest number of top employers, and I'll tell you a little bit about those soon. Top 20 UK universities for graduate employability. So which companies hire our students? Well, you can take a look. It's a who's who, really. Everything from Google and BBC to the NHS, which is the National Health Service, Microsoft, Deloitte, KPMG, Barclays, and IBM, and so on and so forth. And this is just a small selection of the total employers who come to our campus to find and talk to you to try to get you to come and work with them. There's a number of scholarships. Some are merit scholarships, and some are competitive scholarships. And I think we can talk more about those if there are questions later. And that's it. So if anybody has questions, I can answer those now.
Okay, thanks a lot. Well, I have a question
Yes.
about the English prerequisites. You said that you accept other tests other than the IELTS.
Yes.
Which ones?
I'm not very familiar with that. Zoe, can you
Carlos,
answer?
yeah, I think I can answer your question. So we do accept a number of equivalent English proficiency tests. For instance, Duolingo is one of them. It's online. We accept IELTS online as well. IBT at home. So they are all online, tests. We accept PTE as well. And they need to be sitting at a test center. I'm going to send you a copy, the link, to the website, and you can see the full range of the acceptances. At the same time, if students, they have already gone through an undergraduate degree, they are taught and assessed in English, and then on receiving a letter from the university itself, our admissions team will be able to, take that and, while consider that has already met our English M2 requirement. So there are a number of, other ways you might fit different individual students' scenario. So that is on our admissions website. I'm just gonna type in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Can I ask one question? Good morning. Regarding
morning.
the IELTS, it has to be no longer than 2 years expired for at the time of the enrollment, correct? It has to be, it has a date, you have a date from which the IELTS must be valid to...
Very good question. So we look at the date of the entry, so for our
Date of
program,
entry.
and then trace backwards for 2 years.
Perfect. Thank you.
So that's a link. There's a link there. You can see the entire admissions policy to do with Southampton's English requirement. And there's a list of English tests you will see, we will be able to accept. And then just bear in mind, Clause has given everybody a full intro of, our pre-sessional English. So those are 3 programs. Students, they can take either in person or online. So they, entirely equivalent to each other. And then, yeah, we do consider that as the best way of improving English.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm having a look at the website, and it's good that you accept, for example, Duolingo, because we see that many students nowadays prefer to take this test that is maybe a bit faster and cheaper than the IELTS. So I think that's very useful. So this is okay for visa purposes, because as they're going to stay 1 year, they need a visa.
So for very good question again. So for online IELTS, the pre-sessional course, it's entirely fine. And if the students have already met the direct entry of our degree or master program, that's fine. We accept equally online those tests or in person, to sit as a test center. It's just for PSE, the pre-sessional English course. If the students want to choose to come to Southampton to study, then they will need to take the UKVI, academic English. So just bear in mind of that.
Okay. Thank you.
And sorry, one question for the halls of residence, the housing. Do students have to, as the halls of residence is guaranteed, do we have to live there, or students can also, we can also choose maybe see other opportunities for housing, or
Yeah,
it's compulsory to go there?
Yeah, well, I can have a go, Carlos, and if you have anything to add, perhaps. So it's entirely up to our students. Different individual all have different expectations, different lifestyle. So the university, we put this accommodation as a guaranteed option for students. If they want to stay in the university accommodation halls, they have this great option. The application usually opens in March all the way through. However, in order for students to be entitled for guaranteed accommodation, they need to apply before 1st of July.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, yeah, there are many other options as well in the private sector.
Thank you.
And I just want to add that the university's accommodation, obviously, you have all your bills included, including the internet. So it's one thing less, off your list to worry about. I myself is a fan of living in the university accommodation, and you come across the students from all over the world, really. And then, as Carlos just mentioned, you do have a lot of if you have a preference, if you have your request, then our accommodation team, they will be able to take that into account before they allocate a room, quieter side or, if you prefer accommodation, but it's a different room type. We got ensuite. Therefore, you only share the kitchen with few students. And then you have a standard type, you have enhanced room type. On the university accommodation website, there is very detailed information, including the cost per week. And then compared to universities in London, my niece used to study in London, and then she said, her accommodation cost is about double what we offer here at least. So that is a very, very big advantage, I think. We also, as a city on the southeast coast, one of the warmest and the sunniest in the UK. And obviously we can't compete with Italy. Yeah, okay. And but we are offering quite a nice, combination. You might be able to see there's a little visitor here.
Yeah.
I got my
yes.
little girl here today.
Hello.
Hi.
So say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yes. Yes.
Ah.
So yeah. And it's very close to London. We have the international airport, as Klaus said, and you can fly from Southampton within 90 minutes. You can arrive Geneva, Paris, or Amsterdam. So yeah, really convenient. I don't think there is direct flights to Italy at the moment,
No,
but
I think there
yeah.
is one to Marseille.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
So depending on where you are in Italy, it may be possible to do that, but you might want to fly directly to Heathrow.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Do you have maybe some other suggestions for our students? Something to share with them?
I would say what is the advantage, I would say, of this program is really the double degree and the international aspect of it. Because especially in business and in finance, having a degree in an English environment can also open you doors. You have two things which very few people have. You'll have the Italian side and you will have the UK side. So you have access to a job market which is much greater. And you can put that on your CV, and that will be very attractive to employers to see that you have this international perspective. And I think that if you focus on, and in Italy, you have 2-year degrees, which give you 2-year degrees, which give you 1 degree, as opposed to this pathway, which will give you 2 degrees and access to the UK market, the UK job market. I think this makes it a very, very attractive offer.
I just want to add that tomorrow, actually, I'm meeting with the Italian students, return students. He's currently doing a PhD in Netherlands, but he did his MEng, so Master of Engineering with us. So it's in a different school, but it's based on the same campus. They may have some courses now delivered in Bordeaux's campus nowadays, which is just next door, 10 minutes walk. Just want to say that students, even though he's an engineering student, however, he came to our office, the international office, to work for the university's international social media platforms, and he's fantastic. And he worked about 2 years, I think, during his time, 4 years within the university, and he's visiting us again and basically saying, his career is in aviation. However, he's being already offered like a full-time job with one of those top aviation magazine to be the chief editor for their digital resources. I mean, you know, there are so many opportunities offered within our each school as well as the university as a whole. And then there is a career employability and students experience department. And students, they can come across lots of internship opportunity outside of their degree study. So if they would like, you know, have some ideas about what things they would like to do, they are, you know, no lack of opportunity for them to get engaged, to be knowing this society better, working with, you know, students from all walks of the university subject areas.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if there are any more questions, but I think the presentation was very clear and with a lot of information. So thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, so we'll keep in touch soon. And
Yes.
oh, and there is a question.
Yes, I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. I
Good
wanted
morning.
to ask about the classroom because here in Italy we are used to really big classes with a lot of students. How is it in your university? Are there lectures with less students, or is it more like here in Italy with a lot of students?
I think it varies a lot. So, for example, I
Okay.
teach the mathematical finance module, and typically we have maybe 70 students. But this
Okay.
includes the MSc students and some undergraduate students. Then, if you look at, there will be different classes with different sizes. In fact, if you look at the projects, the ones which occur in the summer, these are small groups of students meeting one-to-one with the teacher. So in their offices. So we're talking about really small numbers. So it really varies on we have all kinds of sizes in that sense.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other questions? Okay.
Well, just to say, you know, we're open to receive international visitors, you know, visitors from all over the world. So there is, if you do have a holiday trip planned coming this way, do come to Southampton. There is an online form for our external visitors. We will be able to cater all year round. And you know, colleagues within our team sitting at the international office, they arrange for families, you know, for siblings and for individual visitors. So yeah, just to bear in mind, you know, you can come to see the campus for yourself and then to meet with the staff. Okay.
Yeah, I visited it a couple of years ago and it was lovely. Yeah, very beautiful and with a lot of facilities. So very cool.
And I think if you have any questions, you can contact the international office. Is that right, Zoe?
Yes, indeed. So you can contact us through international at sultan.ac.uk. And if there is anything to do with specific partnership, you know, like process or questions, my colleague Jeff, let me find, I don't know whether you have his contacts. Basically, Jeff, he is looking after the international partnerships covering Europe. And yeah, unfortunately, he could not able to join us today due to travel, but he's brilliant. He will be able to get back to you as well. I know me from my end, I'm supporting the university's international recruitment and partnerships. So yes, we will be able to help Okay.
Perfect. That's
Okay.
very useful.
Okay. Great.
Okay,
So
thanks a lot
All right. Thank you very much.
again
Thank
for your
you.
time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank you
then.
have a
all.
lovely
Bye.
day there.
Bye.
Bye
Right.
bye.